sports,
Anime.
Media entertainment.
The whole world, look around you. Look at this. We created this.
Welcome back. This is the same convo with your hosts, Kenny, Carlil, and Bamba. Today, I got the sports segment, and first of all, we're going to talk about who everybody's talking about, unfortunately, because they've been in the media, the Los Angeles Lakers. Yay. The Lakers have now fallen to 11th in the Western Conference. They're currently out of playoff contention. And off the top of my head, I don't know exactly, but I think they have anywhere in between 4 to 6 games left in the season to at least get to 10 seed to contend for at least a play-in tournament. So my first question to y'all is, do y'all believe that they get back into at least play-in contention? I don't even want to call it playoff contention. Play-in contention with the rest of the games that they do have? Do y'all see that, or do y'all think that they just need to pack it up and just go ahead and prepare for next season? Kenny, I'll start off with you.
So LeBron's got a pretty bad ankle.
Yeah.
And even if he did make it back, who's to say that he'd be playing at the level he needs to play in order for them to win? It also stems from my fantasy teams. Now I have LeBron out. It's all bad.
Yeah, you fighting for a third, fourth place spot.
Really?
Huh?
You said he's fighting for a third place right now, Kenny is?
Yeah. Long story short, this man did a trade behind everybody's back and got a whole bunch of OD players.
I got two players. Two. Not a whole bunch. Two.
Pause real quick. Kenny, you keep answering. Actually, no. Shut up. Bamba, real quick. I'm gonna read you off this man's list of his fucking team, bro, because this is insane. Where you at? Fuckle you. All right, this is man's fantasy team. Kenny's team is Ja Morant, Luka Doncic, Gary Trent Jr. Again, I did just say Gary Trent Jr. That's the most basic player on this list. Brandon Ingram, Clint Capella, Klay Thompson, Anthony Edwards, Andrew Wiggins, Joe Podol, Steven Adams, Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Donovan Mitchell, and Chris fucking Paul.
OD.
That's OD.
That's OD.
That's OD.
Man, fucking shit.
Granted, I will say that at the beginning of the season when we did the draft, he did get like 4 or 5 good ass players because none of us was paying attention. I think he took LeBron as his like 4th or 5th pick.
That was my second pick. LeBron was my second pick.
You said LeBron.
KD was my first pick. LeBron was my second.
So again, he got KD and LeBron back to back. Obviously, nobody paid attention at all.
No, y'all defended yourself. You said Bradley Beal's the only one on the Wizards, so I'm gonna take him because he's gonna get all the points.
Well, Bradley Beal was giving me hella points until he got injured for the
Bradley Beal over LeBron. Let's get that straight.
Because in average.
Oh yeah, Bob, I had the second pick overall. Meaning everybody passed on LeBron but me to the second round.
In average fantasy points, Bradley Beal has had more fantasy points than LeBron in the past 2 to 3 years. Now again, this year was up in the air because Bradley Beal apparently he had to shut it down for the rest of the season. But that was my point. Kenny tried to cheat. And now he's fighting for third place. He tried to cheat. Now he's fighting for third place. But back to the question. So, do y'all believe that they can still make it into play-in contention and sound off in the playoffs, or do y'all think they should?
They're not gonna. While LeBron's gone, they're not gonna win any games. Westbrook and Melo is not gonna be able to do it, so they're just gonna keep falling. They might fall to last place, honestly, because without LeBron, Melo, and AD, to me, they're the worst team in the West right now. without just Westbrook and the rest of everybody else. I don't see them winning any games. It's over.
What about you, Mama?
So I think that first let's establish that. I think that since the NBA All-Star break we had, we know that they were aiming for the play-ins. It was never really the playoffs.
Facts.
But like Kenny said, I just went ahead and looked at the games that are upcoming because they're going to face the Utah Jazz,
Not winning.
the Pelicans,
Not winning.
Nuggets,
Definitely not winning.
Definitely not.
Definitely not winning.
the Warriors,
Definitely not winning.
Thunder, and Nuggets.
Yeah, they're not winning any of the games.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is we've tried at many times to make it happen with the little bit that's going on. At this point, I don't even want them to try. Because really, I was hoping that the Lakers would go to the play-ins and lose really bad to the point where we'll be forced to make moves. Because everybody's always like, nah, we good. We gonna figure out this, that. No, it is not working right now. So yeah, I don't see it happening. I think it would be smarter to keep Bron and AD on the bench. Let them rest. Maybe let Russ figure out, put himself on the market so people can see if he still got it. We'll figure it out with the remaining games. But I don't see him making it at all.
And that was actually one of my questions. And I think y'all both answered in y'all responses. Y'all believe Bron should sit for the rest of the season?
Yes.
I think so. Yes.
Okay. No, I definitely.
That's not just for injury.
Yeah.
He's older.
Yeah.
We need to save this man.
Nah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, like, at the end of the day, the only reason I see him trying to stay on the court is to, keep the scoring title lead. But
I forgot about that.
But Bron, like, honestly, if you ever see this, you probably won't. But Bron, it just pack it up. We know who you are. You are the king. You are the GOAT. And you showed us again that you could do whatever you want at age 37. Man, you just got to pack it up and hope for next season. So that brings my final question for the Lakers segment. And I just wanted, what moves do you think they need to make in the off season? Because recently in the media, I've been seeing that Anthony Davis trade talks could be happening during the off season. Nobody's trading LeBron. I mean, like, that's not even an option. But I guess my question for y'all is, do y'all think they should consider trading AD, or do they need to get rid of Russ, get rid of some of the role players that really didn't do much this season, and try to just add new pieces next season?
Oh, you go first this time.
So the thing with that, that's a tough question. Like you said, you can't move Bron.
Right.
We also know that you can't really move Russ like that.
Right.
So I feel like at the end of the day, because that idea sounds crazy to me until I sat down earlier and listened to people really, talk about it. It does make sense at this point into where we're at, because you're not going to move Russell Westbrook by himself. You're probably not going to move him alongside like a THT or something like that. He has not been great either. It's a lot of those small pieces that have not really shined. And I want to say, if you were looking at the other half, like Malik Monk, Carmelo, and all of that, they've really been the productive pieces. So maybe we might want to hold on to that. And AD, you got to think, AD is talented. AD is going to come back. He's a bucket. He's probably one of the best centers we had in a minute. This year didn't really show that. But injury-wise, do you really want to do that gamble again? Especially considering, like we said last week, they traded their whole future. Right. So it's not like you can't hope to get a new pick or, really trade a Russell Westbrook. You're not going to trade him by himself.
Right.
Or even if you trade him, you might get a lesser player. And is that really going to help you next season? You're probably going to overuse LeBron again, overuse AD again. So I think that AD trade makes a lot of sense, because if it's attached with the right pieces, you can get rid of your problem and bring on a new team.
Hey, I think that's a perfect way to put it. What about you, Kenny?
Who are they going to get for AD?
They can get the same look.
You can get a superstar.
But who?
No, that's the thing. It's who is available. That's what you got to look at. That's
I'm looking at position-wise. When it comes to power forward, the only
AD plays center as well. He probably for the Lakers, he's played center more than he's played power forward.
Okay, so even center, we're not gonna get Joel Embiid. We're not gonna get Jokic. I don't want Clint Capella's not gonna do. I'm not gonna be hyped if we get Clint Capella. The only centers that will be like, oh, we got somebody is Joel Embiid, Jokic, Jared Allen, maybe.
Karl Anthony Towns.
We're not getting Cat. That we're not getting.
I'm just saying that's another notable center.
If we're talking trade wise, why would the Timberwolves give up their franchise player for AD who's been hurt every season?
Maybe not the T-Wolves, but look at a team like the Kings. Sacramento be trying to, they were ready to trade Buddy Hield. They got somebody like Sabonis on their squad right now.
Facts.
I feel like if you're really being fair, AD is enough to me for Buddy Hield and Sabonis.
Facts. And then also,
do we win now for that trade? Is that a good trade for us?
You don't win, but generally speaking, having a big that can't be on the floor that often, you getting rid of it, and having somebody that's a liability offensively, defensively, and you can't trust him with the ball. It's like we said, bro. Like it's like -1. You just try to get rid of that -1. That's I'm sorry to say, but it's Westbrook. Westbrook is not. You can't really have him on the floor like that. So really. It's not even Westbrook, but it's Westbrook in LA is not working.
Facts.
So wait, I thought we were trading AD though, not Westbrook.
No, that's what I said. I said I could see you attaching AD because just trading AD for AD, I don't see that just being,
So you're saying AD and Westbrook for Buddy Hield and Sabonis?
You could get more than that, but that's I was making an example that. AD is enough, I feel like, for Buddy Hield and Co. So, for example, moving Westbrook alone is going to be nearly impossible. But if you put him in the package with AD and maybe TSC, because TSC you want him to go too.
Just like the Lakers traded away their future, I can honestly see any other team trading away their future for AD. Bulls, I can see that. I can see an AD. For Alonzo, for a Zach, for a DeMar, or even just a DeMar or a Zach or DeMar or Alonzo or a Zach. Like I can see that, and those are pieces that will make us so much better than what we are right now.
What Carl is saying, that's what I was trying to go to. Like you don't necessarily have to trade for a big. You can trade him, get like a superstar that you need. Because really, we have a point guard issue. We have hella issues we have hella gaps to close. So really, you can trade AD, get you like. For example, Damian Lillard, you don't know really if Portland is keeping him. They could be rebuilding.
Keeping him, bro.
I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of moves that could happen, and you don't even necessarily have to get like a superstar. You can get a lot of pieces. At the end of the day, you still got Braun on your team, and you still have a young core that can deliver to a certain extent. You got Reeves, you got Malik Monk. Those players are solid. I don't know what Kendrick Nunn is going to look like when he comes back.
Kendrick Nunn is going to be so. I feel like we would have been so much better if Kendrick Nunn was on the floor, bro. Like, what does anybody know what injury that man has?
Look, he never played. I don't know, man.
I thought they traded him.
No, he's here.
We still got that man on the bench. Because who did we get him from? The Heat?
Yeah. He was supposed to come back like 2 weeks ago, but they kept, ramping it up. Shit.
Look, they might as well just sit him next to LeBron and AD and say we done for the season. Like, and they talking about LeBron and AD is doubtful for the rest of the season. Like they don't need to play any type of games, bro. Especially when they're number 11 right now, bro. But let's go ahead and switch gears. To the other side of LA. Talk about the Clippers real quick. So PG returned last night, put up 34 points, 25 in the second half. And so right now the Clippers without Kawhi and PG, they have managed to stay in playoff contention.
That boy Reggie Jackson.
If the season ended right now, they would qualify for the play-in at number 8. And so let me say that. So I think it's still up in the air if Kawhi is going to return or not. I think he returns if they make like a deep playoff run. But my question for y'all is, do y'all see the Clippers with Paul George getting out the play-in and making a playoff run?
Who's in the play-in?
So that would be 7 through 10. Let me look up the conference real quick.
It'll be the T-Wolves. No, T-Wolves. Wouldn't it be the T-Wolves?
Western Conference, you said?
Conference, 7 through 10. So 7 is Timberwolves. The Clippers are 8.
Mhm.
Pelicans are 9, and the Spurs are 10.
So you said T-Wolves, Pelicans, and Spurs.
T-Wolves, Pelicans, and Spurs.
Will the Clippers get past them with Paul George?
I feel like I'm not sure how like the matchups go if 7 plays 8 and 9 play and 8 if 7 plays 8 and 9 plays 10. I'm not sure if it goes that way. But I would say the only team I see them struggling against in are Timberwolves. That's really because I think Anthony Edwards and Carl Anthony Towns have been balling lately. So I think with those two, it might be a little for Paul George and those Clippers to overcome. But you never know. I see them with Paul George completely washing the Pelicans and the Spurs.
So they said that if the play-in started today, it would be T-Wolves, Spurs, Clippers, Pelicans, and then I think loser, winner. There's 2 games that they're playing each.
So they playing 2 games each? I thought it was 1 elimination game.
No, they do play again. It's not just 1 game. The way it's set up, I'm going to pull it out so we can be clear.
Yeah, I only see them struggling with the Timberwolves just because of Cat and Anthony Edwards. Well, I assume Paul George will guard Anthony Edwards. Paul George has pretty good defense.
Yeah, most likely.
Because
he's playing a shooting guard for them now, right, ain't he? Yeah, because
he plays 2 guard and Kawhi plays the 3.
The 3, yeah.
But Cat's gonna torch them.
That's a fact because I can't even think of they starting big.
Is it not Ivan Zubac?
It is. Claps. I'm not gonna lie, Zubac, he be having good stints, but then overall he's just not as good as like the best centers in today's game.
Stiff.
You said stiff?
Stiff.
He's stiff. He be putting up numbers. I'm not gonna lie, he be putting up numbers, but again, those are only in stints. Overall, he's decent. He's just not as good as like the top centers. You know what I mean? But so
better than Dwight Howard though.
You said what?
I said I bet you he's better than Dwight Howard though. He is right now.
I'm not.
You want to don't not ever try that.
Are we not even going to acknowledge that?
I'm still picking Dwight Howard.
We're not.
Okay.
We're not going.
Look, I will have the argument for free after the show.
Bet.
You ain't gotta pay me.
Bet. But so see them getting out playing, making a deep run in the playoffs. I think Kenny said, yeah, no.
I said the play-ins. They might get through the play-ins, but deep run in the playoffs. Deep run, no.
Do you think they need Kawhi to do that, or you just don't see it happening off, the past couple of years when, everybody thought the Clippers were the number 1 team in LA?
I mean, if they couldn't even do it with Kawhi, they're not doing it without him. So,
but just Paul George,
nah.
They said that man Pandemic P coming back, boy.
Yeah, nah, that's not happening. You
What
need
about
more.
you? What about you, Bamba? You agree with
At the end
Kenny?
of the day, what the fuck was my point? What was I talking about?
The Clippers making a deep run in the playoffs.
Yeah, I couldn't see them making it with Kawhi present, if that makes sense. Because I feel like, for example, like any other superstars, Kawhi is not that superstar that can lift your team up. I feel like what's working right now for the Clippers is their system. And I can see just taking them as far as the play-ins. But
I feel that. I agree with both of y'all, so I don't have too much to add on that. Switching gears, let's go to the NFL real quick. So the NFL just recently changed their overtime rules. I don't know if y'all remember in the postseason of this year, the Buffalo Bills had an issue because they played the Chiefs, and they lost because the Chiefs scored a touchdown on the first possession. And with the past overtime rules, that was the rule. If you score a touchdown, first possession, it's over. You feel me? The only way the other team got a possession is if they didn't score or, they kicked the field goal and they gave you a chance to score a touchdown afterwards. But with the new overtime rules, I'm going to kind of read it out because it's slightly different for regular season and postseason. So I'm going to start off with NFL regular season. At the end of regulation, the referee will toss a coin to determine which team will possess the ball first in overtime. The visiting team captain will call the toss. No more than one 10-minute period will follow a 3-minute intermission. Each team must possess or have the opportunity to possess the ball. The exception, if the team that gets the ball first scores a touchdown on the opening possession. Sudden death play, where the game ends on any score, safety, field goal, or touchdown, continues until a winner is determined. Each team gets 2 timeouts. The point after try is not attempted if the game ends on a touchdown. If the score is still tied at the end of the overtime period, the result of the game will be recorded as a tie. There are no instant replay coaches' challenges. All reviews will be initiated by the replay official. So that is the rules for the
that's regular season?
That's regular season. This is NFL postseason. If the score is still tied at the end of an overtime period, or if the second team's initial possession has not ended, the teams will play another overtime period. Play will continue regardless of how many overtime periods are needed for a winner to be determined. There will be a 2-minute intermission between each overtime period. There will not be a halftime intermission after the second period. The captain who lost the first overtime coin toss will either choose to possess the ball, select which goal is his team goal to defend, unless the team that won the coin toss deferred to that choice. Each team will have an opportunity to possess the ball in overtime. Each team gets 3 timeouts during a half. The same timing rules that apply at the end of the second or fourth regulation periods also apply at the end of the second or fourth overtime period. So 2-minute rules, basically. If there is still no winner at the end of a fourth overtime period, there will be another coin toss, and play will continue until a winner is declared. So that's basically saying if they do 4 overtime periods and nobody's won yet, they'll do another coin toss, and they'll do 4 more until somebody wins.
That's crazy.
So, based off how y'all heard those rules, regular season, postseason, reactions, do y'all think this will help the game? Do y'all think this will hurt the game? Just overall, what do you think it will do for the NFL? Is it going to be more fair? And Bamba can go first.
Thank you for letting me go first, because I don't know. I don't have as much to say when it comes to the NFL, but I definitely remember that game, the Bills versus the Chiefs, and it just didn't make sense that you would you have to work through a whole season to get through here, and then it's just at that point I feel like it was just luck.
Right.
There's no way they were gonna win that, given the rules that they had. But this, I feel like anything, it's not necessarily that much greater, because I feel like 4 overtimes is quite tough to get through, but that's better than what they had said.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It's just a little easier, and maybe, eventually we'll work through more rules to make it easier, but I think it's just better. So
yeah. What about you? What about you, Kenny?
So I'm a little confused with the regular season rule. It seems like, did you say if somebody scores on first possession, game's over, right?
On opening possession.
Let me go back to it. Each team must possess or have the opportunity to possess the ball. The exception of that rule, if the team that gets the ball first scores a touchdown on the opening possession.
So one play. If they score on one play, the game's over.
Yeah.
Or possession, as in no turnover, no turnover on down.
Yeah.
Isn't that how the rules always been?
That was for the regular season, yeah. So they didn't. I think they added rules for regular season, but they didn't change that aspect. Again, that's only on the opening possession. If they don't score on the opening possession, then it is going to continue like how the season continues. So like if they don't say they don't score on the opening possession, but the other team scores on their possession. Usually in the old rules, that's the end of the game. If they score, if the first team
they keep playing. Time is out.
Yeah, they'll keep not until time is out. Not until time is out.
They both have to have the possession, basically.
They both have to have the ball, basically. So if they don't score on the first possession, the other team will get the ball. If that team scores a touchdown, then the game will be over. Basically,
that's the regular rules, though.
You said what?
That's how the game's always been played, though.
No,
that's always been a rule. So if you get the ball first and you score on first ball, game over. If you don't score on first ball, another team scores, game is over. It used to be like this. It used to be like this. It used to be like this. If you get the ball first and you kick a field goal at no. If you only get a field goal, the other team gets the ball. But if you scored a touchdown, the game is over. However, if you only kick the field goal or didn't score, and the other team got the ball and they kicked the field goal, the game is over.
I literally said it. I said it wrong. So regular season, there will be one 10-minute intermission. So in that 10-minute intermission, each team gets the chance to possess the ball. If the first team doesn't score off the first possession, then what we thought earlier is correct. The time will just run out. So if the first team doesn't score on the opening possession, then they will play the rest of those 10 minutes, and whoever is the leading scorer in between the rest of the 10 minutes wins that game. If nobody scores, then it gets pushed on to another period.
Okay, now it makes sense, because it used to be like if the person who got the ball first didn't score, the other team came down and kicked the field goal, they win. That's what it used to be.
Yeah. So overall, do you think the rule changes help? Does it hurt? Does it make it better? Is it fair now? What's your reaction?
I don't think it's fair for the team who doesn't get the first possession. So based off of what you're saying, so wait, if the second team scores, is the game over?
No, not in.
Yeah, I don't like that, because it should be sudden death off rip in overtime. So if the first team doesn't score, and then they kick the ball off to the second team, and they score, the game should be over. Right. If the team who gets possession has a chance to end the game, the team who gets second possession also should have a chance to end the game.
I feel that.
I don't think it's fair that if the team who didn't get first possession scores on their first drive with the ball, that the game still continues. I don't like that.
I feel that. And I agree with that aspect as far as like regular season, because you're right. It doesn't make sense, because just because you didn't score on that Hail Mary or you didn't score on that first drive doesn't mean I won't score on my first drive. I mean, so I can understand that aspect, but I feel like in the overall, it just eliminates, because I kind of didn't like the rule before where it really just ended off that first touchdown, like, because, it's not competitive. What if, your defense isn't known, very well for how well that they usually play. You have a bad defense, but they were just having a good few games, or your offense was messing up, and then, you go ahead and just score on them in overtime when everybody's all energy drained and like that. And now I don't have the chance to score back. And so I think overall that the rules will definitely just help the fairness of the game. And I think there's going to be a lot of interesting overtimes in the coming up season, especially in the playoffs.
I gotta disagree with that. So you're pretty much saying we're all tired. So just because you scored first in overtime, you better play till that game is over. There ain't no more time on that clock. I ain't hearing that. What kind of shit is that? Oh, it's overtime. They're tired. No, you better play till that game is over.
But you also got to think about it like this. Like it's just like off of you basically won off a coin toss, because what if my offense is just as good as yours? I can score on the first drive if I got the coin toss.
The game ain't about offense, it's about defense too. Your defense better get that stop.
Okay, well, if the game was just about defense, then we wouldn't have any offenses.
I said it's not just about offense. I said it's both. Your defense better do its job just as well as your offense better come back on the field and score.
But again, that's what I'm saying. Their defense is trying to do a good job, but look, they get to score. Do I not have so you score? I shouldn't be able to score back. You
not
scored
in overtime.
You scored the first. What makes overtime different than that's why I like the rule change, because it shouldn't be different than the main game. You feel me? It's overtime.
Overtime is sudden death.
Understood. We tied. Not anymore. We tied. Now we about to go into this next period. We both should have a chance to score. I feel like that's just gonna make the games more interesting.
You get a chance to score if your defense can do their job.
That's if my defense that's if my defense can do the job. But you only got the chance to score because you won the coin toss. So because I lost,
is that not how for example in the regular game?
Because in the regular season, if in the regular periods, if I lose the coin toss, that doesn't mean I'm gonna lose the game. In most overtime periods, whoever wins the coin toss these past few years, whoever wins the coin toss has won the game.
You know what I think though would have been better? Like a lot of games, for example, right? The first possession, you know, like they would determine who will get the ball based on like the possession. Like it makes sense if the play is being run out, but I feel like if they're gonna start if it's like more than one overtime, possibly just start it off with like you know, do it based off who had the first possession. If that makes sense, they will have like on this half you're gonna have the ball, the other half they come through, they got the ball and shit like that.
So you're saying no coin toss in overtime? Just if you had last ball at the end of the game,
it should go to the other team.
It should go to the other team overtime.
Yes,
I fuck with that too.
So that means it will go to the team whoever won the original coin toss.
You said the what?
It will go to the team whoever won the original coin toss.
Original coin toss. Like it might, it will go to them basically.
No, I thought you were saying it on whoever had the ball when the regular game ended, the other team would get the ball in overtime.
No, you're gonna get the ball.
What team have you ever seen say we're gonna kick the ball off winning the coin toss? That has never been a thing.
I usually kick the ball when I win the coin toss in Madden.
Shut up.
Just so I can get the ball back at halftime. Like
don't nobody do that in the NFL. In the NFL, you win that coin toss, you take the ball.
There's a lot of teams that actually do that in the NFL, but we could touch on that in another thing. Right before, because I thought I was going to be short, but, you know, I made time anyway. Just real quick, since both of y'all are dummies and y'all haven't watched the full NCAA game or any highlights, and y'all literally chose one of the worst. They're a good team, but the worst team to win out of all the other good teams, y'all probably picked the worst one. So I'm going to give y'all a second chance. We got 4 teams left in March Madness. Again, and I know since our last conversation, y'all still ain't watched it.
You already know.
That's what I'm saying. That's why. So again, I'm gonna give y'all this chance because I've been watching. First, we got Villanova in Kansas, and then next we got UNC Duke. Those are going to be great matchups. Those are going to be great games, especially the UNC and Duke game, because everybody wanted to see that matchup because Duke has a very talented starting 5 on their side, but UNC, that team, they came from the brink and started going crazy during March Madness. So who are going to be the final 2 teams in the championship and who's winning? Kenny, Bamba went first last. You can end it off and go first this time. Who's your final 2 and who's winning out that game? Oh, man. They really said Gonzaga, y'all.
Shut the fuck up.
They both really said Gonzaga. Kenny's like Gonzaga. Bamba was like, yeah, Gonzaga's good.
They made it further than your team.
I chose Duke to win it all, actually.
Talking about Michigan.
Okay, that's my personal team, yes. But if you want to be honest, no, they didn't. They both got exited in the same round. So thank you.
What team was better?
You said what?
So what team was better though?
Look, at this point, we don't know. Both their seasons is over.
I'm still going Villanova winning.
Villanova winning. Who they winning against?
They're winning the whole thing.
But who are they playing? UNC or Duke? Go ahead and say it. I know you want to. It's okay. It's okay to agree with me.
Duke can make it, but Villanova still winning.
All right, that's gonna be false, but we'll get there. If Villanova win,
not even a Duke fan.
I'm not, but I'm a fan of being right. You feel me? So, Bamba, go ahead, give me your picks. Final 2 and who's winning.
Final 2, I think I gotta go Kansas and Duke, and I'm gonna go with Duke.
Okay. We got some Duke support on this side. Okay.
I mean, I'm not supporting Duke. I'm supporting Coach K. You know what I'm saying?
Understood.
What's left? I want him to win. Yeah.
So am I. But I'm not even gonna lie. If they got to face Kansas, I'm gonna have to go back that way because I'm low key a Kansas basketball fan. But to each his own. But that's all I have for the sports segment. We appreciate y'all for joining us. We'll be right back for our anime section. Stay tuned.
Sure.